time. This time I mean it. Happy Friday, December 4th, 2020. We will finish and turn in our essays. And for those of us that need to finish, once again, keep working. Those of us that are finished, I've got the editing worksheet so you can go over it. So I will revise and edit and turn in my essay and be done and feel good about myself. It is due tonight by 11:59 p.m. Can you turn it in late? Of course you can, but I expect you to turn it in on time. You're a good person. You have integrity. So get it done today. For our close, just a silly question, just for the fun of it. If you could be any animal for a day, what would it be and why? I've had lots of great answers so far. People want to be penguins. I always thought that was funny. Somebody put, I could be a penguin and chill. Get it? It's a pun. So that's fun. I've had lots of eagles, felines, cats, and tigers. So what would you like to be for a day if you could be anything you wanted to be for a day? Put it in the discussion and tell me why. All right, so today is a good day. That means it's time for our positive affirmations. Today, Carvajal started out in a bad mood. I wasn't feeling stressed. I wasn't feeling nervous or anxious or sad. I was feeling angry. I woke up just mad, and anything anybody said to me, I wanted to like snap at them because I was just in that mood. I used to think that my bad moods were other people's fault, and then I realized, nah, it's just me being in a mood. So I controlled myself. I got my exercise. Exercise really helps if you're in a bad mood. Showered, came to school, and I'm in a good mood now because I worked through it. So let's do our affirmations because I need them even if you don't. So come on, grab that barbell. Let's do some curls. Come on, gentlemen. Let's do some curls. Y'all are strong, getting stronger. What are you? I'm smart, confident, and successful. And how do I feel about writing? I love writing. It's so much fun. And how do I feel about schoolwork? The harder I work, the smarter I become. And it's so true. Those of you that have really been working on your writing, you know your writing skill is improving because you're working hard, you're really trying. If you're just doing enough to get a 70, well, you're not going to be improving much because you're not putting forth much effort. That's just the way life is. So what are we doing today? Well, I don't know if I can actually show you. Schoology froze up and died on me a few minutes ago. So I may not be able to show you in Schoology. Are y'all in Schoology? Is it working okay for you? It is? Okay, good. Let's see if mine opens up again like it's supposed to. Because I had like 8 Schoology tabs open and they all froze. Oh, it looks like it's working again. Good. Okay, so if you go into week 6, Friday's work. And of course, once again, our discussion. Tell me what you would like to be, what animal you would become for a day if you could. And our work for today is just that final editing sheet for those of us that are pretty much done. Let's open a copy of this up. This is not a graded assignment. It's just for you to go through and work through and check off as you go. So this is a lot of review stuff, like middle school grammar and stuff like that, just so you'll be thinking about it before you go through for your final review. If you're ready for your final review, remember, you should have comments from me. If you turned it in and it got graded, I'll have stuff highlighted and I'll have commentary on there. And once you've fixed whatever change I asked you to make, there should be a button that says like reconcile or close out or okay, and it'll make my comment disappear. So keep in mind, you make the changes, get rid of my comment, and then keep going. But once you're done with that, one big thing that would really help me is make the font bigger, make it at least 14, because a lot of you have text like this, 11, I think. A lot of people like to put it at 11. I don't know why. And if I have to read 100 essays, this is really hard on my eyes. Make it at least 14, make it even 16. That would be even better. And make it a clear font. There's always people that are going, I'm going to make it a fancy font. I'm going to make it like this. Well, imagine having to read text like this, 100 essays. Don't do that. To Carvajal, you're a good person. So make it big. Make it in an easy-to-read font. We should all know this, but I have it here anyway, right? How to change the size of it. You highlight it and then change it there. Be sure you have paragraph breaks. A lot of people gave me a big old lump of text, one huge paragraph. Well, you should be having 4 paragraphs here, right? Your introduction, your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and then your conclusion. So you should have line breaks between each of those paragraphs. Please don't give me a big lump of text. Spell check. We all know, okay, there's a squiggly line. I might be able to change it, but maybe you forgot. Hey, you can go into Tools, Spell check, and it'll go through your entire document. Everywhere there's a squiggly line, and it'll ask you about it and offer you something to change it to. So you can go through and do that. But keep in mind, spell check is not perfect. It will not notice everything. More review kind of stuff. Remember to capitalize I. We all know we're supposed to capitalize I, right? But the way I tell you guys, hey, it's a rough draft, just type. Who cares about spelling? Absolutely right. That's the best way to write. But now that you're editing, now that you're going to turn it in as a test grade, as a final draft, go through and fix the uncapitalized letters, the uncapitalized names. Also watch out for titles. Titles should all be capitalized. Like, I went to the zoo. Well, that's just any zoo. It's not a specific place. So that's not capitalized. But if you went to the San Antonio Zoo, well, then zoo is also capitalized because it's part of a title of a place. It's the name of a place. So be sure you remember that. Same thing with high school. I go to high school, lowercase h, lowercase s. But if you go to Warren High School, you capitalize all 3 words. Check for agreement. Be sure the parts of your sentence are in the same tense. If they're plural, be sure you've got plural verb, or singular, have a singular verb. We was happy. Well, maybe if you're talking in slang, right? But it's I was happy. We were happy. Even if you do like to talk in slang, hey, when it's a formal essay, it's a finished draft, you want to make it more like formal English than you would talk the way you're talking with your friends. So keep that in mind. Quoted information. Once again, we all know this, but a good reminder, if you're quoting, you're copy and pasting quotes, be sure you have them in quotation marks. If your quote is part of a sentence, then you put a comma before the quote, and any end punctuation goes inside the quotation marks. So keep that in mind. In future essays, I may also be asking you to cite them. I didn't feel like doing it this time, but you may need to put a citation on future essays, so keep that in mind. Be sure your descriptions are by who or what you're describing. If you're talking about a person, be sure that person's name comes up next or right before it, because it can be very confusing. We don't know who you're talking about. This is a very silly example that I made up. Wearing high heels and a tight skirt, the bulldog. What? The only time you see bulldogs in high heels and tight skirts is on Bugs Bunny cartoons, right? Was it the bulldog that was wearing it? No. The bulldog pulled against the leash and Sandra almost tripped. Well, if you think about it, of course it's Sandra that's wearing the high heels and the tight skirt, not the bulldog. But once again, you should have descriptions or explanations by who you're describing. So here's how I corrected it. Wearing high heels and a tight skirt, Sandra almost tripped when the bulldog pulled against the leash. So watch out for mistakes like that. Watch for repeated words. You start a thought, and then you stop, and then you start over again, and you don't even notice you have 2 thes. So look out for stuff like that. And Google's gotten better at catching that kind of stuff. You notice it is underlined. Watch for mistakes that are words. And once again, Google's better at catching it, but it's not perfect. I woke up early, got dressed quickly, and arrived at school first. And because I know it's supposed to say first, sometimes I won't even notice that I left the R off and it just says fist. Whoops. That's why it's really important to do the last thing I'm going to ask you to do, which is to read aloud. Parallel structure, all your verbs should be the same tense, the same way. But the last thing I want you to do before you turn it in is read it out loud. You don't have to use a big, loud teacher voice like I am, but you read it out loud. Read your essay aloud as you follow your cursor and correct what doesn't look right or sound right. Then you're done. Turn it in. You rock. When you read it out loud, you will notice mistakes like this that you won't notice if you read it in your head. In your head, you know there's supposed to be an R there, and your eyes will see an R. But when you read it out loud and you're following your cursor with your eyes, you'll catch those kind of mistakes. So take the time to do that. Take the time to do all the stuff on this sheet, and when you're done, turn it in. You are done for the day. And that's basically what we're doing today. If you turned in work earlier today, I should already have graded. I should have already uploaded it to Hack. If it's not in Hack, it's probably because Hack is slow because everybody's turning in stuff last minute. So you can send me an email or message me in the chat. Hey, Mr. Carvajal, did you get my work? And I'll check if I got your work. But more than likely, I have already graded it. And if it's not showing in Hack yet, it's just because Hack is slow. All right, so that's what we're up to today. If you have any questions, please let me know. And let's get to work.